Hello, I'm Perry from The Interviewer. Today I'm joined again by Moshe Achmut, armchair biblical
Hello.
archaeologist.
Good day.
When we last left off, we were talking about how a priest from the north started writing the Bible, if I'm not mistaken, and we were getting into that. Was that what he wrote? Was that what we currently have today? Is that?
What he wrote is a small part from what we currently call the Hebrew Bible. So he, as you said, wrote in the Northern Kingdom, probably in the late 1900s BCE. And if we move about 100 years later and to the south, maybe we're in Hebron, maybe in Jerusalem, maybe in Beersheba, I imagine a priest from there, from the south, from the family of Aaron, coming back home, maybe on a donkey, probably not on a camel, and he's again very angry, frustrated, not happy.
And why is he not happy?
Well, he's not happy because in that time there's a connection between the north and the south. They're not the same kingdom, but they have alliances and so on, and they marry. And he brought a scroll from the north. He opens the scroll and he reads it to his wife. And at that time they wouldn't say partner or spouse. They would say wife or woman. So he reads it to his woman, and it's all about the greatness of the north and the priests from the north and the characters from the north. And his family becomes this kind of people who are just on the side.
And so what does his wife say?
His wife probably asked him, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to burn all the copies of this scroll. And she said, you can't find all of them, because even though at that time we cannot imagine more than a few hundreds people who have the time and ability to read, maybe priests, maybe nobility and so on, still, if you have 50 copies, you can't find all of them and burn all of them. So she said to him, I think I have a better solution for that. Maybe we can, give me the scroll and give me a month or so and I'll come back to you.
And so what happens a month later?
Within that month, a lady priest, I imagine her Tzvia. So Tzvia, she says, I cannot erase this story, but I can add a prequel and a sequel. And in the prequel she adds the patriarchs and the matriarch, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebecca and so on. And all their stories are in the south. And they happen in Hebron and Beersheba and all of that. And then after the Exodus she adds the judges and the beginning of the kingdom and all of that, and suddenly the south and the family of those priests who are the children of Aaron becomes center stage.
So why do you think a woman wrote these parts?
So, as with everything else, we don't know which parts were written by men and which by women. We assume that most of them were written by men because they had access to time and to learning. But I imagine these parts as written by women because they have more women in them, and women take roles, they make decisions, they move the plot. They're central characters like Rebecca, who chooses her son Jacob over Esau, like Rachel and Leah, the wives of Jacob, and their complicated relationships. These are the parts that add to the Bible all the beautiful and unique mixes of human relationships.
Can you give me an example of where women have likely written a story?
One example that comes to mind is the story of Lot from Genesis chapter 19, in which Lot and his two daughters are the only survivors of Sodom and Gomorrah. They run to a cave somewhere, And in that story, the oldest daughter says to the youngest daughter, to the younger one, okay, now it's only us two and our father in the world. How will we continue? I suggest we get him drunk, lie him down, I will get on top of him, then you. And they do it for one night, but it's enough only for the oldest daughter. So they repeat the thing the next night, get him completely drunk, he has no idea what's going on. And this time the younger daughter gets on top of him. And that's how we have two nations, Moab and Ammon. So this story, for example, all the dialogue is women, all the agency is women, the man serves only as in one function. Yeah, it's a very basic one.
Mm-hmm. Very intriguing. Well, once again, I'm Perry from the Interviewer. Thank you, Moshe Rachmut, armchair biblical archaeologist. Stay tuned for future episodes.